Okay, so this is a movie review for Martin Scorsese's The King of Comedy. So this is a interesting movie, um, especially for today, because if you've seen The Joker, this has definitely influenced. This has influenced The Joker and Taxi Driver definitely influenced The Joker, and both are Scorsese movies. And obviously just Batman, the character of the Joker, obviously. But I'd say it's like, you know, the Joker from Batman mixed with this movie and Taxi Driver. People always mention Taxi Driver when they see that movie, but I'd say this was maybe even a bigger influence on the Joker. Um, but yeah, this is a pretty good movie. Probably say I enjoy the Joker more, but I need to rewatch that. But basically, Robert De Niro is this guy who's obsessed with Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis has a show, like a talk show. I think his name is Jerry Langford. Um, and De Niro wants to get on the show. He's obsessed with him. He he is he basically throughout the whole movie he's just obsessed with the guy. In the very beginning, he meets him. Jerry Lewis comes at the back. There's a bunch of people there taking his picture, trying to get his autograph. There's this lady who's also obsessed with Jerry Lewis, who gets in his car, and then De Niro pulls her out of the car. Jerry Lewis gets in the car, and this lady will become important much more later because she's like this rich lady who, I'm pretty sure she's rich. She has like this really nice apartment in New York, and she's just obsessed, and so is he. He gets in the car, and Jerry Lewis is like, "Get out!" And De Niro has got like cut on the arm, trying to protect him. So he's like, "Hey man, like I got cut on the arm. Can I just talk to you for a few minutes?" And then Jerry Lewis is like, "Oh, okay, fine, let's go." So they go down the street a while, and De Niro's basically like, "I'm a comedian, I'm really good, but I need to get on your show to get a big break." And Lewis is he's not that interested, but he tells him a couple jokes, and he actually thinks they're kind of funny. So he's like, "Okay, fine, look, um, call my office, and ask for this lady who's like his assistant, and we'll see what we can do." So De Niro gets like really excited. He then does that, and the rest of the movie unfolds. And it's a movie about like obsession and stardom, and honestly like mental illness. Because definitely Robert De Niro is very mentally ill. I mean, he's even, I'd say, like hallucinating throughout in a lot of the movie. Um, and let's see who else is in it. Oh yeah, Sandra Bernhard. She's been in some other stuff too. Um, yeah, she's in Hudson Hawk, which isn't that good of a movie, and she's not very good in it either. But she's like, her and some other guy are like the villain in that movie. Um, But she's, pretty crazy. He's pretty crazy, like the Joker. Um, and really well direction from Scorsese, like always. One of my favorite directors. So let's see who wrote this. I don't know. I don't think I've seen. The guy wrote some of Sesame Street. Um, but anyways, if you're a De Niro fan, if you're a Joker fan, or if Scorsese fan, check out the movie. Definitely a huge influence on the Joker. Up until even the end, because people say how they think the end of the Joker is not real. It's like all in his head. This movie kind of has a similar strange ending, although I think it is real. But yeah, very just very strange. And he he's hallucinating, and I mean, Robert De Niro is in Joker, and he plays a talk show host, kind of like Jerry Lewis. Because like he's obsessed. I gotta rewatch the Joker, but he's obsessed with De Niro and that, and then he gets on the show finally. But it definitely goes different in these two movies for that. But I'll get into spoilers now. So yeah, so De Niro, he then shows up to his office. He talks to his assistant, and he's like, yeah, well, I want to meet Jerry. And then she kind of blows him off, and he's like, look, we already talked about this. Like, I want to meet the guy. She's like, well, he's not here. That's what they always tell him. He's not there. He comes there multiple times, and she's like, okay, why don't you bring a tape of your stand-up work? And then she's like, well, where do you work? What clubs? And like he doesn't work any clubs. He just kind of stays at home. And sometimes his mom's like yelling at him from upstairs. Again with the Joker kind of connection. But you never see his mom, and I think later he says that she's dead, so you don't know if he's hallucinating that. And throughout the movie, he hallucinates that he is like having lunch with Jerry Lewis, and Jerry Lewis is like distraught because he's like, look, like I want to take a break from the show. I can't stand it. Why don't you take over the show for 6 weeks? And then he's like, no, like you've already asked me to do this, I won't do it. And then he's finally like, okay, fine, I'll do it. He's like hallucinating that he is like crazy popular and rich and powerful, and that Jerry Lewis then asks him to come to his like summer home by the beach. And De Niro wants to bring this girl that he's been interested in, and she is she's a bartender. Um, so, anyways, so he brings the tape to her, the assistant. He comes back the next day. She listens to it. She says, it's okay. You're talented. She's like, why don't you come back when you are playing in some clubs, and then we'll listen to your new material, and it should even be better. I mean, she didn't say it was like terrible material. I don't know if she's just being nice or what, but he was like really angry and offended. He then tries to go see Lewis on his own, and he gets kicked out by security because he goes in the back trying to find him. It's kicked out by security. Um, and he's very angry. And then he takes the girl that he took on a date before, the bartender, and he takes her to Jerry's home in his like summer home by the beach. He says like he's expecting us. She thinks that he knows Jerry. He doesn't. Jerry Lewis is very angry, and he tells him to leave. He like insults him, and they're yelling at each other, and then he leaves. And then later on, um, Jerry Lewis is walking outside of his studio, and De Niro has a gun. He points it at him. He says, "Get in the car." Gets in the car, and that's when Sandra Bernhard is with him because she's like in love with Jerry Lewis, and basically they kidnap him, and they kidnap him, and they want Jerry Show to have De Niro on for like 10 minutes to give his his routine, his stand-up routine, which they actually do, and they air it, and then Lewis ends up escaping, and De Niro ends up getting super famous, and he goes to jail for like 3 years. I think he gets 6 years. He goes for about 3, and then he gets out and he like sells his book and he's super famous. It's a very strange ending. It's like, I don't know, is he hallucinating this? Is this real? You're not quite sure. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's an interesting movie. It's not like one of my favorite Scorsese movies, but it's actually a very dark movie. I'd say about obsession, fandom, stardom, and mental illness. So, but definitely huge influence on the Joker. I mean, Scorsese, I think he was going to direct the Joker, but then he backed out. I think he helped produce it. So, um, but yeah, I definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Um, if you're a Joker fan, and there's going to be a Joker 2, I guess. Hopefully that's good. But let's see. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So, and then also throughout the movie, it's very strange. He is in his house, and he has like these giant things of Jerry Lewis and some other stars, and he's like interviewing them, and it's kind of disturbing actually. Um, but yeah, it's kind of a disturbing movie. But if you're interested in Scorsese or De Niro, or Jerry Lewis, check it out. But I guess that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that's it.